Welcome back to Varnadore Films and welcome back to Watching Film. This week we have a preview of Kentucky. It's not going to be really heavy on scheme. It's going to be more kind of what can we expect, just kind of in general terms in the game. I wanted to start talking about Will Levis. He's gotten so much talk about him in the offseason. The physical skills are obviously there when you watch their week one game. He did some really good stuff. Still had some bad stuff in there. We're going to go through that and kind of see what he is at this stage of his career. Then look at Kentucky's defense as well. See what Florida can expect to see from them. Should be a quick look, but we'll start with Will Levis. He did have some really good throws. See here on a 2nd and 10. Another thing to notice on a lot of these. Look at the pressure here. Does a good job sliding his feet in the pocket and delivers a catchable ball here out in front of the receiver, allowing him to catch and run here, right? That's not always the case with him. You can see the big arm too. We'll kind of erase the note here and let this thing play back full speed. You can see the arm. He's got a live arm. So you got a plus. He has plus size. He's a plus athlete, and he's got a really strong arm. You can see why people have become a little bit enamored with him. This is another good throw here. One thing to notice here at the top of the play, motion. Kentucky ran a ton of motion, similar to Florida in the first game, a lot of motion. So expect to see that motion to help the quarterback kind of identify coverage and also confuse the defense here. But you see this throw here, that's a long throw, and it gets there in a hurry. He's on the he's now to the middle of the field, but that's a long throw to the sideline. And you can kind of see why people would be enamored with that, right? On about the 32 to about the opposite 30, and then almost across the field there. Here's another throw in a kind of a tight window on 3rd and goal here. Fits it out in the front pylon. Defender can't quite make the play on it. Nice hands catch by the receiver there. Again, you see the arm strength. The arm strength flashes, right? I think he's pretty good on. He seems to be really comfortable on routes breaking in. So those in breaking routes, he seems to have some comfort with, and throws pretty well. And here you kind of see the quick. He's got a smooth stroke passing the ball. He's probably pretty decent in the RPO game, getting it out of there, ripping it out there, and getting it out quick. Good catchable ball there. Here's one out. It's not perfect, but catchable. Pretty good throw here. Touchdown, quick read, get the ball to your hands fast. He does do a lot of good things, and you see why people kind of like him. And here's a little play action shot. First play of the game. Expect to see some of this as well. Gets the ball out of his hands on the move. Accurate ball. Let your guy do something with it after the catch. I believe this is Robinson, who's the transfer that they're hoping replaces Wandale Robinson. First play of the game, he got a big one there. So expect to see a ton of this heavy play action. If Florida's able to stop the run, that can kind of limit a little bit the maybe the success of the play action. You don't quite buy it as much. Let them run the ball, but you're going to see some. I think you'll see that. You'll see some screen as well in the game. I think we may have clips of those later, but this was a bad one right here. This is schemed up. This is a touchdown schemed up right here. Great scheme. You got the motion, right? Motion. Now we got to re-identify who's mine if we're playing man coverage. You get this guy screaming wide open. This should be a touchdown, easy. This is right here. This thing's easy money. And he misses back and throws it 100 miles an hour as well, right? So there's some inconsistencies with ball placement. This is one right here. That's an easy walk-in touchdown. You got to hit that. Here, running like a mesh concept. He's a little late and low. Not really late, but he's low. Here, maybe you say he's trying to keep him away from this linebacker, but you should be all right there. Put it on him. He might be able to score it through there. It's a little low. This is a catch they actually had to review. So it was even lower than it looks initially. They had to go to review and make sure he actually caught that ball. And then this is on the 4th down here. Bad snap, but still a little low. But he has plenty of time here. This is just he misses inside. You're throwing an out route, don't miss inside. Miss out of bounds if you're going to miss. Easy interception, right? And that seems to be his miss, is he misses a little behind. And those are plays DBs can make, or those are balls DBs can make plays on. Here, this one is obviously not a bad throw. It's completed, but what he needs to watch for, and where I think Florida maybe can get some of these, if I'm consistently throwing it to the back shoulder here, closer to the DB, that gives him a chance to make a play on that ball. And balls at the back hip like that, defenders now have a chance to make a play on it, right? So Florida's playing the back hip, and if you're really tight to the back hip, you have a chance to actually make a play on the football, not just a play through the receiver's hands. So he had quite a few that were completed that were still, I thought, at the back hip of the receiver and kind of didn't. Here's another one. Balls at the back hip's got to slow him down. DB can play through that. But this is somewhat nitpicking, right? This is a little bit nitpicking because these are completed passes, but against better defensive backs, those get not swatted away. Here's one where it's hard to tell if that's a little high here or if, it's just a little hard. Yet the fullback out there, he can't quite make the play. But the bigger issue for Kentucky, Levis obviously played well enough to win. Even on those throws that you're maybe being a little ticky-tacky on the ball placement, they're on the body and their completions. I'm just, from a Florida standpoint, those are balls you can make plays on. But they're not bad throws by any means where they're terrible, right? But it's just a little bit of a ball placement issue where there was a big story when Carson Palmer was coming out in the draft. He would ask, they wanted him to throw a go route on the sideline. He asked the coaches, do you want it on the upfield nipple or the nipple closest to us? And they told him, and he put it on there. I'm sure there's some apocryphal elements to that story, but that's you're looking for that level of accuracy in the NFL, right? The bigger issue was pressure. Here, this one's behind. This is another one that's behind, but it's hard to put this one on Levis when he's going to step into the throw and he's got a dude right in his face, right? And this is not counted as one of the 4 sacks that Miami of Ohio produced, right? So you're getting pressure, good throw, or, under considering the circumstances, pretty good throw, but again, behind the guy, he's a chance to make a play, but that's not really on Levis there. But the pressure they're able to generate with a 4-man rush. This is not blitzing, right? This is just a 4-man rush. You're able to generate pressure. I'm sure they'll have a plan for this after seeing it the first week. You'll get some screen, I'm sure, to try to slow down your pass rush early in the game. Get some quarterback run maybe to kind of, if you don't feel like you could block them. But this is troublesome for Miami of Ohio defense that lost some guys. And now this one's interesting right here. You see the score is 10-10. Kentucky so far 0 for 3 on 3rd downs. You get pressure here. Your end gets there. Levis throws it. What could possibly maybe should have been picked here by the backer hits him in the hands. Ricochets up. It's caught by Kentucky, and there's your first 3rd down conversion of the night. You end up going down to score a field goal here. Take a 13-10 lead in the half. Return a kickoff for a touchdown, which we'll see, and then get a fumble down to the 8 for your second touchdown, and the game's basically over. Again, while not a sack, pressure. And what are they doing to generate pressure? Sometimes it's a straight rush, but just bringing 4 and moving guys, this is something you'll see Florida do, and guys are just getting lost. right? We're running we're blitzing guys, we're dropping guys, we're moving a little bit some games up front, and guys just get lost. This is something you think Florida had to take advantage of, and he just kind of gets a free shot right there. Again, this wasn't a sack. Levis does a good job getting the ball out of his hands here, and they make something happen, right? You pick up a first down, but another bit of pressure, right? This time you bring a blitz, you get there. It just was not great from the Kentucky offensive line. You add into that I think the backs ran for like 68 yards on 20 plus carries. Not great. Levis is a good athlete. He's able to take off here and I think pick up a first down, but again, just the fact that just this move up front can kind of get you that level of penetration and pressure is not promising if you're a Kentucky fan. If you're Florida, you feel pretty good that you'll be able to maintain or achieve similar levels of pressure with your personnel. And how can you slow that down? You throw some screens. I think you're going to see a good bit of screen from Kentucky to slow down some of that pressure. They scored a touchdown on Florida last year with a screen. I think you'll probably see versions of that. Throw to receiver, throw it here to the tight end late. So Florida's got to be ready, I think, for a screen game, for a quarterback run game. I think you're going to see a lot of that. Looking at the Kentucky defense, if you remember Florida's game last year, Kentucky was perfectly fine with just sitting back, making you complete passes underneath, and then make you slowly march down the field and hope that you would self-destruct with penalties. So I think they're going to be pretty similar. Stoops is more of a zone coach. He's not going to play a ton of man. He'll probably play some zone where guys are aggressive in their zone, but they're going to make you complete passes. They're going to keep eyes on the quarterback, right? So probably try to limit Richardson's running game. And the key, what they want to do is they want to get you in 3rd and long right here. It's 3rd and 10. Drop back underneath it, make you dump the ball off, and now we're going to rally and tackle, which they did a really good job against Miami of Ohio, and they really frustrated Florida last year. But here's the same thing. You can see they're getting underneath everything. No big plays. Here that gives the quarterback an opportunity to take off. I'm sure they'll have a plan, and they've already said they've got the game plan. So they'll have a better plan for Richardson taking off. But you can just see the depth they're getting here on 2nd and 3. They're getting some depth in their drops, right? So they're not letting anything behind them, really. They don't want to. Where you can take advantage, where you kind of have a shot is right here. You get a whole shot, right? So if they're playing some type of 2 or, cover 2 look where safety's getting over the top and you got the corner playing more in the flat or playing like a cloud player, you might get a whole shot. They kind of get that right there. And while they will, you can see kind of you're completing underneath passes, they will bring pressure. They'll bring 5. So there you've got a blitz coming. Get another one here, but it's safe pressures, right? We're up here showing this look right here, showing 5 over here to try to get the slide this way, and then we'll bring 2 off this edge, hoping you put all your protection away. Miami of Ohio doesn't take the bait here. Still able to get there with that pressure there. But show it on one side, bring it from the other side, right? They're not going to make it easy. Now getting away from the passing game into the running game, Miami of Ohio didn't have a ton of success, or at least consistent success, but they did have some success running the ball. They got push at times. You see here after a shift. I mean, they're getting some push, and you'll see it from the backside here. This is the first drive. Watch kind of the push you're getting on the interior here. This backside of that zone is getting pushed down. All right. Back does a good job here. But you can see from the backside, we're getting push up front. Back's able to take it in for a touchdown. There are other moments in the game where they're getting push with their line. He pulls it here, but watch the double team here. It's an RPO. Look at the double team there. I think we're getting pretty good push on that double team. And you see how this just because we're playing zone doesn't mean we're soft, right? We can be aggressive in the zone right there. You see it. Well, I'm attacking this route. Then again, kind of you see some push in the run game here on 1st and 15. Hard run. So I think this to me this I think this Kentucky defense is better than Utah's. They're a lot more athletic. Um, I would expect them to be pretty well coached because Mark Stoops' defenses are typically pretty well coached. So I think you're going to have another tough test. But they're not going to be able to play Florida like this, where I'm going to play the dive, and now maybe they will put Richardson one-on-one with the safety. If you're a coach, you'd like to draw a lot of plays up to get one of your backs one-on-one with the safety. So if they're going to give it to you, I wouldn't imagine you get that from Kentucky, but maybe you will. And then a funky formation. Florida showed some 4-2 a side in the game. Here's Miami of Ohio run 4 to side, really 5 to a side of the back here. But you see with the threat of Richardson, these are similar to the formations I thought you'd see against Utah last week. I said kind of with the tight end back here, so you have a nub tight end. Here you got 4 here with the back. Just into the boundary. If that's how they're going to play you, you've got some really good numbers up here. So I wonder if we see some stuff like this, some formation into the boundary looks from Florida, just to kind of see, let's put all our guys down here and see if they bring all those bodies down here. And now I've got my 2 backs I can work stuff with to this side, Richardson, and then any one of those backs. I mean, ETN would probably be a pretty good guy. If you got a speed option package in there, that'd probably be a good one to break out here. But I think there's some interesting things that can be gleaned from this with just how Kentucky plays the formation in the boundary. Miami ends up throwing it out here, but there's a lot of field up top right there with not a lot of people in it. So special teams, Kentucky, great job on special teams. We saw the first down they got to extend the drive for the field goal earlier on that tip pass. Come out of halftime, only up 3. House a kickoff. I thought Florida's special teams were a little underwhelming last week. And we have not seen, I don't think we've seen a field goal attempt yet this year. So that'll be another interesting part of the game. So you return a kick, and they also block a punt here. They get a hand on it. I believe it's J.J. Weaver, good friend of the program, right? He gets a hand on it for a kind of a block punt, deflected punt. So they're going to have pretty good special teams. I think it's going to be a tough game. Kentucky's always pretty. I think there's a world where Florida could play really well and roll, but I think for the most part, the lines start open at 7 and creep down to 4.5. It's kind of stayed there. Levis, you see, he's got talent, and if he's on, I think he's going to be tough if he's on. But if you can stop the run game, make them one-dimensional, and now let Patrick Toney run a ton of his creepers and sims and all that, those fun, safe pressures he's got, I think Florida would have a pretty good chance to maybe get some picks and some turnovers there. But I don't think it's going to be an easy game. It should be another fun game, another night game, Saturday night in the Swamp. Should be a pretty good one.